like 2 months ago too.
I know. It's just about time we all get back together again.
Feels like
much needed.
a while ago. And it's hot up here, and
It's
or
freaking muggy right now.
Bro, it's like a swamp outside, honestly.
it just got a lot hotter in Memphis.
Ugh. Not
It's no
here for
fun.
it. Yeah, what is it? It's 78 right now. Ugh.
78 sounds nice. Let's see. It's 88 right now.
And 78% humidity. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's actually a swamp. But I'm on an island, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The island.
The Long Island. Although there's two of us, so.
2 Long Islands?
There's a Long Island in no, I'm sorry, there's Long Beach, California.
Oh, really?
And Long Beach here. Yeah.
Nice.
I could go for a Long Island iced tea.
Deal.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ellie. What's up, Ellie? Ellie,
Hi,
if you want to join us,
Yeah,
let me
bring her on
know.
up.
All the cool kids are together. Yeah, Ellie, you should join us if you're free. I can send you the link.
Do it.
Join us.
So, is this the separating the layouts?
This did you? Well, Chris, did you merge the last one I sent you? I think you did.
I did not because it didn't build.
Oh, I may have actually come in after, and
If you did, then
I merged it, and then it
I
probably.
approved it.
I wonder why it didn't work.
I couldn't access. I can't access
Yeah.
the build log, so I meant to send you a note on that, but
Okay, that was my bad. I should have actually confirmed that before I merged. But anyway, so Ryan, what you'll want to do a poll on dev just to make sure you have the latest
Sure.
code.
I
That
did do this
is
just before.
okay.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, Ellie, no worries. Streaming is exhausting. I totally get it. CD, what's going on, man? How you doing? So just in general, for people that are working on projects with other people, you'll probably want to pull from whatever your target branch is fairly often. So especially before you go to create a new branch, which is what we'll do, pull from your target branch, which in our case is dev, go to your new branch. And then as you're working on that, you may periodically just pull from dev in case other people have contributed code that you need to make sure works with what you're working on.
don't wait until there's like been 15 merges. You might have a lot of merge conflicts, and it's a pain.
You can, yeah. Michael Moore on YouTube, what's going on? Welcome. CD said, "I'm all right." That doesn't sound super convincing.
Oh no, CD.
Hopefully things are relatively okay. I've had some all right days recently myself, so I think we'll probably need some bigger size on everything, Ryan.
Yeah,
Sure.
You
What
may
if I just bump down my resolution?
No, you can just zoom in. You don't need to worry about your resolution, dude. Just zoom in just a little bit more.
And you can, if you, you could maybe just take each of those and make them full screen too.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
Might be useful. Relatively, ostensibly. Or relatively okay sounds good enough. Sorry, it's not amazing though.
And here we go.
Sweet.
There you go.
So
Just 200%. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I'll go to certain tabs because Arc does zoomed in per tab, I think, and I'll go to certain tabs that I had done like a screenshot on or something, and it's not like 250 because I wanted to get something really big.
But I so appreciate that rather than just being a global zoom.
Yeah. Elias on YouTube, what's up? Paulino with an H. Is that Brazilian or Portuguese in general? I'm curious. Looks like it might be. It's just a guess though. All right. So I did a lot of work early, or I submitted the PR earlier. Chris, that we ended up merging, and maybe there was a reason it didn't build. We'll figure out. But it was a redesign of the search overlay in general that didn't include the cards. So what this story is specifically is I don't know if the search deal, I don't know if I created the search deal card component. I think I did. So it's going to be updating that specific component to match the design that you just saw in that screenshot.
Gotcha. All right, let's see if it's
And do you
search.
have everything set up like with your own Zeta database?
Ooh. I don't think so. I did the
Okay.
testing originally, but I don't think I have my own setup.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should probably walk through that. This has been something I would like to be easier and easier. But that would probably be a good place to start.
Yeah, sure.
If you open the README there or in the browser, it doesn't matter. Nikki T, what's up? I'm sad Nikki T won't be at Render next week.
What?
I know.
Bummer.
Why?
We got to hang out last year at Render, but not this year.
See, I'm bummed. I didn't know him last year, and now I know him.
Yeah,
So now
he
I'm
won't be
having
there.
FOMO about last year.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Elias, Portuguese name. Yay, that was a good guess. The H just seemed very Portuguese to me. Very cool. Michael asked, does Zeta do local development? No, they don't. What we're getting set up is Ryan creating his own database in Zeta, and so that he can use that for testing. We could use a local Postgres because we're using Prisma. The reason we still have to have Zeta set up is because we're using two features from Zeta, which is search and
File uploads.
File uploads. Thank you. So because they've got those features built in, which is super cool, we still need Zeta to be able to handle that behind the scenes. Michael Moore, you're going to be at Render. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll get to see you there. And Brian F on YouTube, little deals for dev work. I see. Yeah.
Yep. M Huggins.
Mark Huggins, what's going on?
Hey.
You are sharing an API key.
Yep.
Which you can go back into here. I'll just take you off for a minute.
Okay,
or so.
thanks. That's what I was gonna do.
So continue to do your thing. You can delete that API key and create another one if you go back
Cool
into
beans.
your settings in a minute.
I'm just gonna continue later with this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Moore, Supabase has local development. Yeah. So, Michael, tell me how that works. And I think you do like a whole Docker image that you bring locally and then run it. Is that right?
Yeah, it's Docker.
Okay. Which is super helpful for this kind of thing. It is a step that people have to go through to have Docker. I've almost never used Docker, but like I get that idea. And I think it totally makes sense for Supabase to have that because it's just Supabase and a bunch of other stuff Postgres and a bunch of other stuff around that that is running locally when you do that. But yeah, that's a super helpful thing to have.
Yeah, you actually get I tried it once just to play around with it, and you actually get their whole dashboard in there. You can do all of your features and everything. It's just your own local instance.
That's a big deal.
So you can host it on your own. Let's say DigitalOcean Droplet or EC2 instance, or one of those things.
I did a video, so I got to check out AWS Amplify Gen 2 last week with Eric from the Amplify team, and then just recorded a video this morning on Amplify, and it's got some really interesting like things in it going forward. It's got like TypeScript full stack, so it'll automatically take a schema and generate a GraphQL layer and generate types and all the queries and mutations for GraphQL, which is pretty neat. And also it has this idea of sandboxes where it can take like kind of an outline or like a config file of all of your services that have been set up for you, and it can provision a sandbox for you with kind of one command that you can use to do development. It still runs in their cloud, so it's still like cloud-based, it's not local, but it's pretty neat that it has everything that it needs to find to be able to just spin up a new sandbox in like a minute or two and have that to test against or dev against. Pretty cool. Yeah, Michael, what's your app that you're building? Also, Ryan, let me know. I know we're not sharing screen right now as you're going through setup.
Yeah.
So that setup, that setup process is relatively new and it's semi-involved. So if you have things that trip you out or questions or feedback, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I think I actually helped provide feedback on it originally, but it looks like Zeta has updated a couple things since then. So.
Oh, Zeta has? Oh, like screenshot wise or like dashboard wise?
Yeah, like slight flow wise in the
Okay.
setup, but it's okay. I am running through everything right now.
Well, it may be because there was this big discrepancy of the onboarding flow being different if it was your first database versus your second.
Yes, that's right. I
Are
did
you
delete my old database and start it
okay?
over.
I
So
wonder if that considers you to have already had one and now you get the other experience. I'm not sure. But that was a challenge. I didn't know how best to document that.
interesting.
Yeah. JB,
Yeah,
what's going
I
on?
do recall that.
Okay. Joshua, I referenced you in my talk recording that I did yesterday from a couple of things that you shared. Also, Michael said an app that tracks when your dog has been to the restroom, hoping to have it done before render. Nice.
Nice.
I wonder if is there like a medical reason that you're paying attention to that more? Or is it like a reminder if I need to let the dog out before I go to bed? I just got a puppy American Pit Bull Terrier. It helps me with potty. Oh, nice. Potty training. Yeah. I haven't been through that in a long time. It's fun.
I'm trying to find my API key in Zeta, and I am just not finding it in the database.
I'm going to go into my tab or my page. So under settings as a whole, I say that, no, I lied. Under your icon in the top right
Yep.
and account settings,
Okay.
then there's personal API keys.
Got it. Thank you.
Mark, you're about to go through it only with a human this time. Talking about potty training. Yes. For better or for worse, I've got a little bit more time before that. I don't know, when does that happen? 2 years? I don't know what the like reasonable time frame is for potty training. Don't know. JB asked, this is for a virtual conference. Yes, actually for 2. So this recording is for the C3 conference, which I was supposed to be there in person and can't make it now, which makes me sad. But I'm giving the same talk at Render in person. So this is actually kind of rehearsal for me to have at least a version of the talk done for the recording. And then I'll get to give the talk in person at Render next week. So depends on the kid. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, Ellie, thank you. Ellie, so you'll be at Render? 2-year-old is good time for potty training. Sweet. So we've got 11 and a half months to to get there. Oh, sweet. Ellie's going to be at Render. Did I know that? I can never remember who all is going and who's not.
Man, I have FOMO to the max that I'm not going to Render.
Just do it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just do it.
Listen, I got a double queen, man. I got you. Roomies.
I mean,
come on.
Ryan, come to Render. What does it really take to get down there? I guess take it.
It's just the PTO that my job won't. I have the PTO. They're just nah.
Ask them if they support conferences. You're learning. You're doing stuff with Oracle. If they'll pay for conferences, dude.
Yeah,
it's worth asking.
It is worth asking that. I had asked them if I could start developing tools there and stuff. And like, nah. I'm like, gee, thanks.
So you do have PTO though?
I do, yeah. Oh yeah, that's not the problem whatsoever. I used PTO for that in January, and since then
nothing.
I haven't used anything.
Okay. So what would you say is the biggest thing holding you back?
Oh, definitely just PTO. Like, or
oh wait,
them
I thought you said you had
me.
PTO.
I have it. They're just not approving the time off.
Oh, what? So a situation where you have the PTO, but it's not approved for that reason? Wait, like PTO, like your time that you get to choose when you take and for what?
Correct.
I don't. It's not computing.
They said too many people are already off, and I can't have off at the same time. So I can respect that.
You work in supply chain. Yeah. Got to be people around to order. Got it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So
we call it pretend time off sometimes at my company because I have to specifically tell people I will be checking my phone every now and then, but I will not have my laptop with me. Like call me if you need questions on anything, but I'm out. Or the other trick in my company is if you go out of the country, you can't bring your work phone with you. You have to do like a whole export thing. And so
Chris only travels out of the country.
Yep, I'm out.
Sorry, I'm going to Mexico again.
Yeah. All right. I think I am in business.
Okay. Run. Make sure you can run it locally just to double check. Let me know if you're past the API key part, and I'll bring you back up.
Okay. Let me try running it first. So if I have to.
Yeah. Also, a couple more comments. Trey, what's up, Trey? Said potty training can be anywhere from like 2 to 4. So we got a range there. Kishore said, how do you suggest we generate API keys in our app to use some libraries or just randomly select a character using a built-in random library? Not sure what that question means. I don't know if you mean like API keys to talk to a service like we're doing with Zeta. In that case, that platform handles it for you. I don't know if you're talking about building an API where you're giving other people API keys to be able to access your API. I'm not sure. There is what's the tool from James Perkins? Unkey.com. Is that what it is? Yeah. Oh, wow. And his face is on the front. That's cool. James Perkins built a startup project, and another person whose name is escaping me, but built a project called Unkey, which is a third-party service to help manage your API keys and rate limit and stuff like that. So,
okay, that
Matthias,
work, but that's okay. We're getting there.
Okay, Matthias asks, "Is this pair programming or trio programming?" Es una buena pregunta porque tenemos 3 personas en vez de 2.
Okay, you just blew my mind.
Really?
I got an F in Spanish in high school. So
Una F.
And here's the horrible part. I lived in El Paso, Texas for a while, which is basically
Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. It's a Drupal. Yep. Brian asked, am I still looking for my first dev job? Yes, I am still looking for my first dev job. It's going to happen. It's going to happen this year, dang it.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen.
Same for Ryan as well.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so.
We're all getting there.
Michael asked how many Zeta databases you can have before charging. Let me see. So they have a limit on 10 database branches. So you can have branching in Zeta. I'm not sure if that specifically includes a limit on the number of databases you can have. I'm not sure. By the way, this is the pricing link that I'm looking at. So 10 database branches, then you have limits on data storage, which is 15 gigs, search engine storage, file attachments, and AI queries. And then you obviously through like the paid tiers go up and stuff from there. So yeah, I'm not sure if it has a specific limitation on number of databases as opposed to specifically branches. So.
All right. So let me just tell you where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
It is not liking my environment variables, even though I copied them straight from Zeta.
Okay. Are you past API keys enough to share your screen?
I can hide.
Yeah.
I can hide the environmental file.
Up to you. We can give it a shot.
All right. Let me just make sure Zeta is not showing anything.
Chris, are you talking to us or are you talking to someone
I just
else?
realized I've been talking this whole time and I'm on mute the entire time for like the past 5 minutes.
That's great. All right. Go ahead and you can show my screen again.
All right. Let me catch up on some comments too. Keyboard said, I asked this in Astro Lounge, but way more disorganized. Does anyone here have a good package where you'd use to overlay events and attendees onto a calendar view? I don't know of anything specific that I would use for a calendar view. I mean, I guess like just some sort of like React library or something for a calendar. But I don't have anything specific that I've used for that. What can you show me? Was there an error message when you tried to run?
Yeah.
Why? I think check out env.ts in the source folder.
Yeah, so I was looking at that before actually too.
Say that's HTTPS. So those should be fine. It looks like it looks like you're missing, or it says it's missing the Zeta HTTPS database URL. I'm going to take you back off. So check your .env file and make sure that you have that one. So there's two
database URL, but I don't have the.
It's right below it.
Yeah, there's two different things. And just for context for everyone, the reason this sounds complicated, but it's because we're leveraging these features of Zeta that we would use an external service for anyway. And that we mentioned this before, but it's specifically file uploads that we're using in Zeta and search API. And so because of that, we need to have set up for Zeta and then also set up for Prisma, which is connecting to Zeta, which is a Postgres database. So there's two different URLs. There's the database URL, which is the environment variable used for Prisma. And then there's what I name the Zeta HTTPS URL. Zeta supports like HTTPS connections, and in addition to just traditional Postgres database connections. So because of that, you have a separate URL to initialize Zeta.
You know what? I don't think I had that the HTTPS database URL in my environment folder, which is probably why I wouldn't have known to put it in there. That's on me. Okay.
Is it covered in the documentation?
Probably. I'm probably just skimming through it. Let me just confirm.
I think I have a lot of the details there. I will say they are kind of dense though. So it would be easy, but I should double check that one.
You know what? It is not. We have the database URL, but we don't have any mention of the HTTPS one.
Oh, did you run the Zeta? Did you run the Zeta init command?
I did.
Because it should set that property.
Interesting.
That may not be right.
No.
It should. Do you see a property in there? A Zeta property that is an HTTPS URL?
Is my screen still shared?
It's not.
Ryan.
Okay. Perfect.
I sent you a screenshot on Discord.
Yeah. Oh, I got it working.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
Yeah. I knew exactly where to find that. Just the property itself wasn't in my .env file, and running Zeta in it not put it in there. So,
do you see another variable that maybe has a slightly different name, but is an HTTPS URL? Because I think Zeta init should create that, but it may not be the right name.
The only other one I see is for Sentry.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay. I'll have to confirm that.
Yeah.
Mark is asking if it's in the example. So in the example, we do have reference to the Zeta HTTPS database URL, but I think we're missing that example line 16. Yeah. So it is in the example, but I think I thought that Zeta was going to create that for us automatically during Zeta init. And I think either it doesn't or it created something else. Keyboard Cowboy said, we use Sentry to handle sessions and logons for our production. Nice. Keyboard also said, so like James Quick is in the HTML for dummies at 8 and then SQL for newbies at 10 and advanced Pascal. What is that? Oh, wait. The Keyboard Cowboy, I have an attendee list with all their events and the company they are with. So I want to show all people on a giant schedule and then filter by attendee or company.
Okay. I can confirm I do have my local server up and running.
Okay. Are you ready for me to bring it back on?
Yeah.
Hide environment variables. Go. Sweet. So that is up and running. And if you go to the browser, you can see it at localhost.
Yeah.
Cool. And you should be able to go to just the root and not have to log in just yet.
Okay. Forcing me to.
That's.
Do we have a router now to go to login?
No, we don't. This is a carryover from Gridiron. So for whatever reason, your cache is saying. So if you go back into localhost 3000 login, or just type in localhost 3000.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you zoom in on the browser page a couple times too there?
Sure. Here we go. Yeah.
And what's the URL that you're at? Log in.
Yeah.
So in this one, one, you don't need to log in, so you can just go to the
Do
home
that
page.
right there.
Two,
Yeah.
and this
Click on
one,
double D. Click on double D.
okay, so something's going on there.
Can't reach the Zeta server. Make sure my database server is running.
Nikki T, you mentioned the cloak thing to hide environment variables. That is handy just in case, but if you actually need to look at them, you still have to show them on the screen to see them. So if you're messing with them, it's still, you have to take it off, I think, unless there's something about it I'm missing.
Interesting.
Okay, so Brad lurking. What's up, Brad?
What's up, Brad?
Please make sure your database. Okay, let's just confirm. I'm going to take you off again. Just in
This
case.
is something else.
I know. Can you, oops, not that. Can you confirm that your database URL is a Postgres URL? So it starts with Postgres.
I will triple confirm for you because I know I checked that 7 times myself. Database URL starts with Postgres SQL, correct?
What does it end with?
SSL mode require.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really? I have it in mine.
Oh, really? I had an error and I removed it out of mine and it worked.
Huh.
All right, I'm running it again myself just to check and see. I'll let you know when I'm good to go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird because it did work for me. We have a great question in the chat for reference. Michael's asking, can the community contribute? The overwhelming answer is yes. I'm going to put a link to the repo in chat. Ideally, this would be a very community-driven project where I do almost no work and just the community does stuff and I kind of guide them through that. They're also doing something similar with Shashi called Gridiron Gang. Survivor, sorry. Thank you.
Gang, yo.
Yeah, that. And I think they're doing a better job of just being really organized and really structured, like a real code or team coding project. And anyway, I also am using this project to build content out of. And so I need to make sure that I get what we're calling MVP shipped by the time I go to render. So I have taken on a lot of work just to make sure that it happens, but I would love for people to actively contribute, and I will support you in doing that in any way I can. So Michael, if you have any questions, let me know. We also have a Discord channel inside of the Learn, Build, Teach Discord to specifically talk about this project. So if you're interested, just send me a DM on Discord. Cool. All right, you good to share screen again?
Yeah, please do.
Do it.
Right. Thanks, everyone, for your patience.
Sweet. Oh, this is a good, well, I guess we shouldn't really have that. I was going to say, if you look, there's the hottest deal section and there's nothing there. And then we also don't give any like context of like, there's nothing there, but we probably shouldn't have this project if we don't have any deals. So although we could have a use case for handling, hey, we query deals and there's none, we shouldn't need that if we're using real data.
Yes.
True. I mean, whatever.
We'll only need that for specific, I guess, types of deals, right? If people search for a certain deal and we don't have any currently. Yeah.
And if you click on the shop all deals button, link in the top. And if you go to like ebooks, so that does have a message to say that nothing was found there.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, Michael, join us. Go just Ryan, just to have one piece of data, go into add a deal and just do the form to do that.
Oh, I love seeing this work. What? Source lib.
Can't resolve Zeta. I know I installed it.
Wait a minute. Did
the Zeta, see if there's a Zeta.ts file in your project?
Sure.
Also, Howlin Murdoch said, first Taco Bell drops Cheez-Its Gordita. Now James Q Quick is streaming. What a time to be alive. Yes.
There is not a Zeta.ts file.
Okay. So why?
Shall I try running that again?
I think that should have had, and you're sure you ran the Zeta init?
Yeah, I followed everything through the steps.
Oh, one question: Did you Did you push the Prisma? Migrate that over? Did you push the database over? Because doesn't he still have to do that, James?
It should be, yeah. So the Prisma DB push, that is documented. I see it. Did you do that one?
Prisma DB push.
Scroll up a little bit. It's before the
I
Zeta.
did do that.
Okay. So if you go into your database that you have in Zeta in the dashboard, you see those tables. Cool. So that's what the Prisma DB push takes the schema that we have in Prisma and it pushes those to, in this case, Zeta, which works pretty well. Go ahead, Chris.
Is there an update to the CLI? Because that's been an issue.
There is, yeah.
Remember in the past, James, when we've tried to run it and we had
an older version of the Zeta CLI?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
I remember something where we ran Zeta init and we kept on getting errors, or it wasn't creating anything in the init file, and then when we
kept telling me there was an update, but I said no. I ignored it and just tried moving on.
Okay, can you run Zeta init again?
Yeah.
And let's just see that.
Sure.
Michael, I just put a link to Learn Build Teach website in the chat.
Okay, so here you go. A newer version is available. We're currently using
project already configured as Zeta RC. And that shouldn't, can you delete the Zeta RC file?
Sure.
And that shouldn't be checked. Oh, what? Wait. I think that shouldn't. Oh, I need to go to the dev branch. So that file should not be checked in, I think.
I think it's created locally when you run.
It should be. I wonder, there's a chance you may have had that file before.
That's possible.
Yeah, actually you would. So it didn't give you this before.
It did give me this before, and I chose my current database. That's the only one I have.
Okay.
And then I chose TypeScript.
Yep.
And then I just chose the regular one because that's what you said.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, so that's where it would have done that.
It would have generated the API key, but maybe it didn't do the database. I have to confirm that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then do Zeta pull main, right?
Yeah.
It should. You shouldn't have to. It should have run that code gen to start.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's try this.
But either way,
once more. Man, I'm so used to typing PNPM.
Yeah, I've never used PNPM.
There are pros to it, it seems. But
also, Mark is asking if you enabled this for Postgres. I assume the answer is yes.
Yes, I did.
I think we would have had other issues. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm good to go. Yeah.
So just so we see something, throw in something completely dummy data.
That is a nice looking form, James.
I'm a big fan. I went through and made some updates, Chris, by the way.
I saw.
Well, I made some updates for the form in Potluck Pal, which I want to show you and talk through because I did a lot of work on that over the course of like 3 days and had a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
And so I made some changes to the multi-step form there that I think
could be brought over here.
Could be useful. Yeah.
Here, why don't we use pizza for that image? Failed to create image record.
That's good to know. Anything in the... See, this is why having somebody else run through. Is there anything on the server there that...
Let's see. Throw an error. Yep. And this is in part info.
So that's still just in the client. Did it?
Yeah.
Column.
API image 500.
Image. Oh, I know. You got... All right. Go into your Zeta database. Go into the dashboard.
Yep.
And this is the one tricky thing. Okay. Go to the deal. Is it under deal image now, James?
That is the table where images are stored.
All right.
Yeah.
Go to the image drop down.
I'm wondering what you're going to do because I don't know what this...
And then go edit column. I think you have to regenerate because I think when you push it over, it expects it to be a JSON, and it's not. It's an image. So I think you have to delete the image column and re-add it in as a file.
Wait, what is
Interesting.
it? What is it created as now? What is that not? Because it's got the file icon, right?
Yes, it does.
What? This is news to me.
I can't even delete this column. Unless I have to do it via the CLI.
I'm missing something. Click that drop-down menu again.
That is a different icon than what I have in here.
Interesting.
Go delete column.
It is JSON.
Yeah, go to delete column.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
That's not good.
And then add column image.
Prisma.
Or you're gonna do file.
Gotcha.
Call it image. Yep. And then uncheck
Don't
allow multiple files.
Mm-hmm.
Make files public by default. And
do want me to keep not null checked?
no,
before.
Yeah, not null is cool. Yep. And then create column.
Choose Zeta. Okay.
So what happens, and this is one of the things, James, with Zeta, it's not a bad thing. It's just they're still figuring out the Prisma integration with some of their stuff.
Do a
DB pull.
Zeta. I guess pull would be the same thing. I just do Zeta CodeGen to regenerate the code. I guess pull and then main. So from the branch.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember, Chris, you saying this, and I forgot that was something that we need to do because Prisma doesn't understand what a file type is in Zeta. So in Prisma, we have it defined as JSON as opposed to an actual native file thing in Zeta.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. All right.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's in local storage.
Yeah. It's a pretty sweet form. Like, it's pretty cool.
Look at that. Boom. It's a little bit stretched, but I'll take it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we need to add, that's actually a good thing.
We need to add cover to that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Coupon code. Pizza. 24.
Pizza.
And that in 99%.
It's a big discount.
No, it's not a blob in Prisma, Mark. It's a great suggestion, Mark. But for file uploads, I don't think they do blobs.
All right, we're submitting it.
So they do have blob. Well, you're saying Prisma doesn't have blob?
No. Yeah.
But either, I think it's not exactly the same thing as what it does in Zeta by default. Like Zeta just has, there's more that goes into it than just a Postgres blob, I believe.
Right.
Sweet.
So you should be, so you're not seeing anything, and this is intentional. All deals have to be improved by an admin.
That checks out.
So we don't just let people publish directly. So if you go in to your database and see that record, you can go and toggle it to approved. And then if you toggle it to featured, you can, it'll display on the homepage.
Gotcha. Okay.
So in the deal itself, so this is the deal image, which is stored in a separate database. Go to the deal or separate table.
Oh,
go to the deal table. Yeah. And then you'll see a Boolean for featured and approved.
Okay, gotcha. So we can.
And I would just check yes to both of those. Yeah.
And featured. Where are you?
Somewhere there. Or you had it a second ago. It's just short. Josh C on YouTube, what's going on? Timmy on Twitch, what's going on? Michael made it in Discord. Sweet. Brad, normally you don't store blobs in the database. They're stored in blob storage, and you store a link to the image in the database. And Brad, that's exactly why we have this as a separate table specifically for the image, so that we kind of keep that pattern, but we are taking advantage of the fact that Zeta does have support for what you're saying, which is the equivalent of blob storage somewhere else in S3 or R2 or whatever. Hopefully that makes sense. If you queried Prisma and got a blob back, what are you going to do with that in your front end? Yeah, and that's why there's not a great way, a setup way to automatically generate that file type or that column type in Zeta automatically from Prisma schema.
This is sick. This looks great with the percentage off and everything. I am
Sweet.
curious why we have this opening in a new tab though.
Did it open? I don't think it did
By
for
default.
me. Does it?
Yeah.
Was it target new?
I mean, it must.
Josh C, JC the Dev, what's up, man? We got to meet in Austin at that conference, and I will be at that conference in Wisconsin. Josh is there, or JC. Any chance you're going to Wisconsin this summer?
I'll be there. I'll be there too. 3 conferences in 1 year. Man,
Yeah, that's pretty great,
it's a
dude.
good year.
When you start going to conferences, it picks up pretty quickly.
I know.
Yeah,
Next-
so right now we have the target blank in the deal card.
Oh, I know why. So we should create an issue for that. I'll do that now.
Okay.
The reason was it used to you click on the card and it went directly to the page. Now we have or to the deal itself, like on its own domain. Now we have this going to the full details page inside of our domain. And from there you can click out. The reason is
Perfect.
our cards didn't show the coupon code and they didn't show the category and maybe a few other details. So now we
awesome.
have all that on the landing page, and then we can link out from there externally.
Excellent.
I'll create an issue for that now.
Okay. We also need to create an issue because this is floating off in Narnia,
Oh,
depending
interesting.
on the screen size.
Oh,
What is
Wow,
that deal
okay.
card?
Deal cards should not.
Oh, because it's absolute
open new
positioned.
page. JB sponsoring going to Heartland Dev Conference. Nice. Josh, what's going on? You guys need any help? We went through a lot of setup to get to this point that we're working on. So we're more kind of getting caught up. Is that all it took for that one?
For the object, yeah. Object fit cover, or object cover, rather.
Cool. There should have been. Where was the other place that was in the form preview? Maybe.
In the form preview and the deal itself. So we need to adjust that elsewhere.
Now, in theory, we would take this and make it a separate PR. Just put it in what you're doing since we're already doing it.
That's fine. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No,
Remember
actually,
yeah.
no. We're here, and as a team, we agree on it. Go ahead and do remove the open a new page on the deal card too. That'll save me from creating an issue, and we'll just have it done.
Yeah. Okay, that's done. Add a deal.
Perfect New York pizza right there, dude. I had, believe it or not, like New York style pizza in St. Pete, Florida. It was a guy like from New York, and the pizza was delicious, and I missed it like so much.
It's so good. It's like Long Island pizza. There's really good pizza out here too, but there's just something about New York City pizza that hits different.
Yeah, and it's so cheap. Like I used to do that almost like every day on the way home when I lived in
Really?
Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, like I'd walk like outside of Times Square, get a slice of pizza on the way home for $1, and it was great.
I was just gonna say, you get dollar slices, and it's better than the worst
$5
pizza anywhere
slices.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
also
Absolutely.
those hot dog stands. Those hot dogs are so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do hot dogs very often, but yeah.
There it is.
Someone was asking, lost the narrative, if you can do e-commerce functionality at Astro site. Absolutely. If you ask the question, can I do X in Astro? Almost certainly the answer is yes. So assume yes to start with Astro.
Do they have their own database now?
Yes.
They do.
They do.
Brian C, man, thanks for hanging out for a little bit.
I'm just trying to get to the image for the form. Category select, contact, coupon
So that
details,
is
drag and drop image.
Product info. Right
It
down
is in
there.
product info. Okay, I'm looking at the right place.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought we created a separate. Well, it depends. There's two places. There's
yes.
product info is where you upload the image.
Yep.
Right.
The other one is where you preview it.
Correct. That's the final one. The review a deal.
Review a deal.
And then I think there's a preview card that it uses component.
I see. Okay.
Deal preview. Yeah. So inside of that one for image there.
cover.
Sweet.
Perfect. That's there. That's there. I'm gonna submit a new one just to check.
Yep. Hurry, Ryan, get to the image. Lost in the narrative. Where can I learn it? Like this is gonna sound like a cop out, but I would search for an Astro e-commerce YouTube tutorial. I don't have one myself, but that's where I would start. Show me pizza. Josh, I haven't seen this. So Josh is asking if I've seen the new env variable stuff that Astro shipped today. I have not seen it. I've got up their announcement post to read, and I haven't. They release way too often for me.
Yeah, it looks like a very small one. I didn't look at the full details yet, but yeah. All right, this is object cover. There we go. Done.
Oh, Astro just launched its own version of what we're using from T3 ENV,
Oh,
Really?
where you do validation on environment variables.
Because theirs is different. Theirs is import meta, right? That's how Astro uses their ENV.
It is, yes, it is. But in this case, like they're using, I'm assuming it's Zod because they use that for a lot of its other stuff. Validation on the schema, and I think they have the ability to differentiate server, whether it's secret. That's kind of cool.
yeah, I like that a lot.
Did you write Ryan was here somewhere?
Yes, it did.
Is that why? I remember that for later.
It's the coupon code.
Oh, nice. Oh, by the way, click on it.
Yeah, I noticed that toast, little
Yeah.
not toast, but yeah, that's
Little
good.
tiny thing.
It's actually copied. Yes, it is. Beautiful.
Yep. Josh, love the
Nice.
type safe approach integrated. Absolutely. Yeah, same. All right, let's try the reason we came here. Click the search icon
Yep.
and search for something. There's something to look.
Grab Ryan.
There's something to look into for that. There's like some sort of gauge on minimum input. So if you don't have either more than 3 or 4 characters.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so if I just do his,
Yeah,
that's all right.
Oh, nice.
that's something we have to figure out. So,
Oh, okay, that takes me to the URL.
so that needs to be updated too. So anyway, that's where we're going.
Yes.
So I think I did create a search result card.
Yes, and actually, I think I have that here. Yeah. So we've got the image, the title, the description, and then hovering over should change the color and underline it. And assuming that should take us then to the actual our domain, right? Or deals
Yep.
for devs page. Yep. Cool. And this wasn't created yet, was it?
I think I did search. So go into there's a search folder and open up global search. Yeah, go into search results. Sorry, you're right.
Nope, that's all right.
And then scroll down. Okay, so I haven't created the component. So inside of this search folder, we want to create the component for a searched deal. So I would just call it search deal TSX.
Gotcha.
Timmy asked, how do we do search stuff? This is actually really cool of Zeta. So Zeta builds on top of Algolia. Similar, is Agora a thing that I don't know about? Or maybe you meant Algolia, I'm not sure. But it builds on top of Algolia behind the scenes. So it basically replicates data over to an optimized database for search, and then gives you APIs to actually search on that data. And it's super, super easy. We can show a snippet of code here in a second to show you what that looks like. But it's pretty sweet, if I might say so myself. So all that work for search is just done from Zeta for us.
Is that this entire thing? I'm gonna copy this and we'll make it into its own
Yep,
its own thing.
that's exactly what I would do. Algolia, yeah.
Div. Okay, it's this one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You don't have the little rainbow lines.
No, I thought it was built in, to be
I
honest.
thought so too.
Yeah, I thought it was built in now.
Maybe not.
Okay, loading deals. I guess I'll. Well, if I'm only making the component and then we'll load it in here, I don't actually need everything here. We'll need the link. We'll need React. We'll need what is clickable? Oh, duh.
I don't think we actually show that in the updated UI, so we'll probably
What's
get
that? The
rid of that.
clickable coupon code?
Yeah. Yeah, because instead of showing that there, we're gonna take them to the full details page.
You are correct, sir. Let's get rid of
Michael
that.
Moore says it's a nice feature of the search stuff. It really is.
We'll get rid of it
I
here.
thought
Gotta find deals. Oh, this map function is going to have to be... Actually, I should have left the div in there, which I think it still is, actually.
why is that?
Because this div is containing the search results, and then we're mapping over the results. So I really just want to make the component from inside here.
Just
right?
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So you can just
Get rid of that.
cut those. Yeah.
Okay, so we want the entire thing to be a link.
Yep.
Okay.
Timmy's asking, you handle database queries on the front end? No. So all actual database queries are handled on the back end. Most of the queries are handled in server components. So as the page is loading, for example, for search specifically, we have an API endpoint that we call because it's a client-side component. And we use that to call a backend, or inside of search, we use that to call a backend endpoint that then calls the search API on the backend. JB,
$10.
thank
Look
you.
at that.
Yes, $10.
Nice.
Every dollar goes to a good, nice cup of coffee, and the cost to put deals for devs on Vercel.
Ryan, if you would have said earlier that like a flight was the biggest thing holding you back from render, I was gonna pitch we do a fundraiser on stream to get you there.
But
I appreciate that.
It's PTO, so we can't really.
It's not even PTO because I have it. It's my job. So if y'all want to fundraise me a new job, go for it.
Is it far enough in advance for you to figure out that Wisconsin?
I can't do that either. I requested render and that Wisconsin.
Dang, it got turned down for both.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Actually, some friends are like, "Oh, they just don't want you to leave," because I'm sure they could tell. Like between my LinkedIn being all dev stuff now and whatnot, which was a fear of mine when I switched over. For a while, I really waited, or I didn't look to change my LinkedIn over from supply chain to web development. But LinkedIn, like, you can't have more than one profile realistically with your name. It's really difficult. I think I looked into it. I don't know if it was against their TOS or not, but yeah. So I just committed to it after that, and I don't know. It feels like they might be doing that in in jest or whatever.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yep. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? What am I missing here?
You'll need the parameters in there.
Yep.
Michael says that sucks. I agree. Ellie says, hope you get a cool dev job and they send you to that Wisconsin. Hard agree. Ellie,
I appreciate
Ellie,
that.
are you on the job search? I think. I don't know. I haven't seen like a check-in or an update on your end. You got some support from Jay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, did we lose James?
James.
I thought I was
James?
here the whole time.
No,
Yeah.
we got to fix your Wi-Fi, dude.
We got to talk about that while we're
Yes.
in while we're in Atlanta, because I have to. It's super annoying.
We'll talk about it. If you are going to render next week and you're on any of the streams right now, Jason Torres and I will be speaking at Atlanta JavaScript Meetup on Tuesday night, the 11th. So the night before all the stuff starts. So I'll put that in the chat.
Dude, that's exciting. I'm pumped for you.
wanna-
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I thought about moving my flight to the day before. I don't think I would have a hotel room. It's really hard for me to balance time away from home too.
Yeah, you got a 1 1/4-year-old.
Yeah, not even just barely over one. Ellie's gonna be at the meetup. I'm jealous. You should get hardwired my Wi-Fi.
Nice.
I agree with all the above.
I'm gonna meet you guys at that meet. Is there a that meetup going on, Ellie?
I think she's just saying the meetup before render.
Oh, got it. Oh, sweet,
Yeah.
got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm like, are we doing a that meetup?
I'm trying to figure out where my missing parentheses are in squiggly brackets.
Um,
This here.
You're missing the import of the deal type. So that's one thing. And then I think you have just one parenthesis extra at the end. I think. Or other way around. You had the one in front, maybe?
Yeah.
Or is it ended? Just get rid of that line?
Yeah, just get rid of that last line.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay. And then import your type for the deal. And you're not going to need the other parameters. So just singular deal, and then you can get rid of all the other ones.
And I guess I don't need that to be a object now. And we just need deal, so.
I still. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Fix that. And that'll be singular.
Yeah.
And then get your type.
Can I find type deal? Oh, I'm at the importer up here, you mean, yeah.
Yeah. And if you go to, like, if you put your cursor on deal, so if you go back
over here, yeah.
Yeah, put your cursor where it's like, and then do like click in there, and then do command period. It's funny when
Command period.
Yeah, it's so hard to. And then
that's so
import
useful.
from Prisma. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Did you not
All
know
the
about that,
time.
Ryan?
I didn't know that shortcut. All the time I'm trying to like, click the tiny little light bulb.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Useful. Yeah, really.
And then you'll still need to destructure deal. So you took away the brackets around the first part of deal.
Yeah.
That one. And so what you're doing in here is you're basically saying you're going to have a named parameter called deal that you want to destructure from props overall. And then you do colon, and then the following thing is the type of the params in general, which includes the property of deal.
And this is one deal, so you don't need it to be an array anymore.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So this I can just make deal.
And you don't need it to be
Thanks.
possibly null.
Thanks to Mark. Shout out to Mark for calling that out. Yeah, good call, dude.
Okay. And should I keep the squiggly brackets around this first one?
Yes. And
Okay.
so if we started with, so go to the second squiggly bracket and then go to the colon and beyond.
Mm-hmm. In here?
Yeah. And just for teaching purposes, remove that really quickly.
Sure.
So if we just start with this, what you're saying is from the parameters coming into this function, I want to specifically get a reference to deal. If you weren't to destructure this, you would probably just name this props, and then you would reference props.deal. So now we're destructuring deal in line from the actual properties for this function.
Okay. I've seen that, never really understood what it did. This is something I just get confused about sometimes in general, because, and this isn't just, you or Chris, whoever wrote this, but like similar named things that we're using repeatedly, you know, we're calling deal, we're deal's a prop, and then we're telling it's a deal and it's a type of deal. It just, it's kind of confusing at first. Just takes some getting used to. But
It's
okay, great.
probably a little cleaner to define an interface for like search deal props and have that be a standard. We're not really doing that. You can if it's probably a better way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's usually how I do it, but that's because when I started using TypeScript, I literally just jumped into an existing code base where they use interface, and I said, okay, great, that's how I'm going to start using it,
Why don't we go ahead and do that now? I think probably having that as a standard would be better than not. So I would just name this the same as the component and then props. So search deal props. And then, yep.
Deal is going to be a deal, right?
Capital deal. Yep.
Oh, yes,
so
thank you.
deal, capital deal is the type that's generated for us from Prisma.
I was going to ask how that's being generated.
Yep.
I didn't know you could make your own type.
So that type is specifically coming from Prisma based on the schema. So when it generates code, that's what it does. Also, we also have another deal type. So if you go up to line 3 and remove it,
Okay.
and then go back to your capital deal and do that command period trick again,
Yep.
notice you'll
from
get
Zeta.
IntelliSense from Zeta and Prisma. We're using Prisma for CRUD database operations. You can also do that with the Zeta SDK, but we're only using the Zeta SDK for search.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So in this, well, actually, I guess technically we would be getting, I think we're okay because I want to stick to the Prisma types as a whole. But this may technically, it'll work. Huh. Interesting. It'll work because they're almost the exact same type. But technically, this would be a deal record from Zeta. Let's ignore that for now, though.
Okay. So now I have search deal props. I'm going to throw that in here instead, right?
So you'll still destructure deal.
Okay.
The type that you have defined is to the right of the colon.
Right.
So you would replace that with the new interface that you just created.
Gotcha. Okay, that looks familiar. That looks far more familiar to what I'm used to working with.
So what you're saying is the properties for this search deal function are going to meet the requirements of the interface that you define, which means it's going to have a property of deal, which is of type capital deal from Prisma. From those properties that have that format, we want to destructure the property of deal.
Okay, and so that way we don't have to say search deal props dot deal dot ID, so we could just call deal dot ID, right? Are we just reducing our amount of work down here?
Yeah, so the alternative. So let's actually go through and do this because I think it's worth seeing what the alternative is. So where you have bracket deal bracket, remove that really quickly, and just name that props. So we're not destructuring anything. We're just saying props. And actually, you'll leave undo a couple times. And one more to get your colon back.
Oh,
so in front of the colon, props, and just lowercase. So this is the left of the colon. I know this is confusing because there's so many things. Left of the of the colon is the name, what we are deciding to name the properties that are the parameters that are coming inside of this function.
Okay.
So that variable name is lowercase props. That lowercase props has a type or an interface or a structure that matches search deal props, which means if you go down to line 12, if you want to access deal, you have to do props dot deal.
Gotcha. I see.
So the benefit of what we were doing is already destructuring the deal property from our props object.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks cleaner, and it definitely, when you name things properly with deal and such, it just definitely makes it easier to digest, I think.
Mark has a good suggestion, something that I think actually does make sense. I just said actually does make sense as if the things that Mark says don't usually make sense. That's not what I meant. I just was clarifying that I think we should do this. You'll see a common way that people define interfaces where they always start with I. So let's go ahead and do that on 5, and we'll have a mix of this throughout the application. We can go through and update and standardize. But
I was going to say Shashi would say put an I.
So it's funny you said that because the gridiron is the first time I've seen it, and I was like, why are we doing this? But if it's a more universal standard, I'm here for it.
It just lets you know specifically that it is an interface. It also gives one more level of differentiation between the interface and the name of the function, because both of those had started with search deal.
You're right.
Now we
yeah.
know this starts with I. It's going to be an interface.
Gotcha.
Josh Medeski referenced using React.fc, which is functional component where you can define the type for it. And he's got an example here. Josh, what's the benefit of that? You said to make it more type safe. I don't know the answer. So why is that more beneficial than what we're doing here?
That's using something like naming your component, right?
Default.
Searched deal. And then you do React here.
It's funny. I always have to search the what did he do? Colon. So you're saying const name colon, and then you're saying the type of this function that you're defining is this. So the this is so hard to do. So you would have const, and then the name is searched deal.
Right.
And so we're defining a variable, and then you do colon, and now we want to define the type of this variable. And that's where you do react.fc. And then you have angle brackets, which is you're passing a type to this functional component. It is going to be of type iSearch deal props. Sorry, not just not of type, just the name of the interface, which is iSearch deal props.
And a space after the colon.
Oh.
It'll automatically format it for you, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then close bracket, and then equals. And what you've just said so far is you're defining a variable named search deal, which is of type React functional component that takes iSearch deal props as the interface for the properties that it receives.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Also, Josh mentioned, he said you're adding, it clarifies that you return JSX. I guess that's not 100% explicit when you just define your function and the parameter types. So yeah, we could adopt that if we wanted. And yes, it's called a generic when you do the brackets. What that means is you're able to pass in a type, and it's going to apply that type to whatever it does at a high level.
Interesting. I think I've seen this in Shad CN UI with how they build their components, and I just it looks like so much gibberish because I've never seen it. I've never used it, so yeah.
It's kind of a lot. Why don't we
its
skip?
usefulness.
Yeah, let's skip 5 for now. We may go back and update this. Also, Josh said he tends not to create a separate interface, just to find the type object in there. That's what we just went away from. I think this is even more beneficial when you have a much bigger type, and you might. Or interface.
Yeah. So, for a one-off like this, maybe not. But I guess we want to keep things consistent. New consistent.
Yeah, but this is the perfect example of people have preferences, and that's totally okay. I'm gonna go downstairs really quickly and grab Jamie and bring her back. So continue doing your thing.
Sure. So, Chris, as long as you agree with this, I'm going to. Do we want to keep opening the deals in a new tab, even from the search bar?
Oh man,
I feel like I do that personally, but I do it manually.
Yeah, I would say just keep it in for now. We can always remove it later. I like as much type safety. Yeah, no, Josh, I agree. Type safety is important. I don't use types when coding. Sam.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Looking at this, how this is designed, this could work on mobile, but it's also going to be very tall in that case, which is fine realistically. But would it be better for mobile having the image on top 100% width?
I think there is a mobile
design.
Let me check the Figma. Let me check the Figma file real quick.
Thank you. Okay. So in deal we have where is deal being? Oh, that's coming from here.
Let me check.
And 8 more, that's why.
Figma sign in.
because if I want to, I want to start writing this out, but I always like to start mobile first.
No, you're good. I'm pulling it up right now.
Thank you.
Got it. Where is it? You know what? I think that is a really good point. Hold on.
We were holding.
You know, yeah, there isn't a mobile design for that.
I mean, that's what I would do, I think. But
Yeah. Just thinking about that, James, he brought up a really good point. And in mobile,
Are you looking in Figma?
yeah, in Figma there is not a
Okay.
mobile view, so that is the actual, and that is showing as 1,000 pixels wide.
Okay. Any suggestions from you two or anyone in the chat have a suggestion for mobile?
Yeah, I think go ahead. I think what you said, Ryan, was right. I think if you put the image on top and make it a little bit larger, and then have the title and description below it, I think that'll shorten it up a little bit.
Do you have an idea of how you do that, like design or like Tailwind wise?
oh yeah, definitely. I was saying while you were gone, I always go mobile first is how I like to build things out. So I would just start with that. It's all going to be in one column. I would just have two different containers here, one for the image, one for the text. Oh, didn't want to do that. And yeah, I mean it's relatively. Actually, I was just doing something like this for Gridiron.
Sweet.
Funnily enough.
Yeah, Josh, the coupon is when you click on the deal, it'll bring you to a page that shows the coupon. So we did go back and forth on that for a while. Is do we list it here? Do we not list it there? Do we update? And I think, James, we decided for MVP for now is just going to be listed when you view the deal itself on its independent page.
Yep. There was another, I don't know if you addressed this or not. Ahmed on YouTube said to zoom in a bit more. So if you haven't,
Sure.
zoom in like one or two more, maybe. Also, Zam said, I don't use types when coding JavaScript.
I laughed at that one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm getting this error when with my source string null is not assignable to string static import coming from the image, and I feel like I've encountered this before, and I don't quite understand why.
Yeah. So if you look at, open the Prisma schema.
Sure. For deal.
Yeah. So it'll.
That's
Sorry,
the
just like
types.
just the actual schema. So it's schema.prisma file.
Oh, where the hell is that?
So hold on. Let's do some other shortcuts. Are you on a Mac or Windows?
I'm on a Mac, yeah.
Command P.
Command P.
And then search. So schema. Yeah.
There you go.
Got it.
So if I like aggressively pushed my preferences on somebody else, this would be one of the highest one is Command P to search every file. Unless you just specifically don't know the name, it's infinitely faster than going through the file.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going to use that all the time now.
So inside of here, cover image URL, do you notice anything about it?
String is optional.
Yep. So we decided to give people the ability to not upload an image.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do is we use that gradient thing by default. So if they don't have an image, so what that thing is saying is that probably hurt. What the error is saying is this thing could be null. What are you going to do about it, basically? And so you can compare inside of like the preview component. There should be an example that or it should show you where you conditionally render the image if the cover image URL is there. And if not, you render the gradient thing.
In the preview component.
Yeah, what did we call it? Deal preview or something?
Yeah,
Deal
something like that.
preview, yep. Deal gradient placeholder. Okay, so I need to throw that in here as well.
You could probably copy all of that code. So one where the cover image is there and one where there's not. And then we'll need to adjust the size, I think.
Okay. Review deal. Here we go.
Oh, Josh has got a good point too. I was wondering why your schema file looks so bland. There's a extension in VS Code for giving you color coding and IntelliSense inside of schema files.
Ooh.
So there's a Prisma VS Code plugin for that.
Excellent.
¿Quieres más?
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so much better to look at. I was like, this is terrible before. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, and I need to import this. So that was command period.
Command. Oh, yeah, for import. Yep. And there's also, if you look on there, there's an option for importing all missing exports. So if you have multiple on a page, you can do them all at one time.
Is that something you usually? I was afraid to start using that because I was like, well, what if it causes issues? Do you just trust VS Code is smart enough to?
Most of the time, yes. I think if it has ambiguity, it doesn't do it for you.
Interesting.
I think is what I've learned. I'm not 100% sure about that though.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then can I find name category?
Yeah, Titan.
Because I'm not importing the type.
Sorry. Well, yes. So yeah, same thing. Titan has a great comment that we should look at doing is just adding this like conditional image logic to its own component since we're reusing it.
I have to agree with that. I think that's a really good idea.
Be right back. I'm gonna hit the restroom.
Don't leave us.
All right. All right, let's see. And I guess I just need the design for now. So we said we're good with this being on top and deal green. So can this accept classes? I hope. Yes, maybe.
It doesn't right now. A lot of what I've done, what are you trying to add a class for?
So I just want to make sure it takes up the full width.
A lot of, yeah, I guess we'll have to test that. A lot of what I've been doing is defining like that inside of the wrapper around it. So if we need to add a div around it to fix that,
yeah,
but we may or may not need to. So we'll see.
Okay. I added a div just so that way I could throw flex on this.
Okay.
And do that so I could.
Also, Josh commented that we can drop the as category. I'd be curious, Josh, how you solve this. So Zeta doesn't have, and Prisma doesn't have, as far as I know, the idea of enums. So we have an enum for category. And so we're specifically saying here that what Prisma and Zeta know as a string is actually of the type of enum that is category. So I don't think we can get around the type issue right now unless we include that.
That's why.
You're eating a lot. To be clear, I'm talking about her, not you.
I didn't eat lunch yet, so I hope so. Okay, I just want to throw this new component in here so I can sort of start seeing how it's come together.
Yeah. Josh, I'd love for you to take a look and let me know if you have another alternative that would be better.
And where did I call this? Coupon code, which we're not doing. Okay, so this is the link. So I'm going to delete this here. But I need that. Searched. Deal.
So many Joshuas. Yeah, JB laughed at my disclaimer of I was talking to her, not you.
Ooh, don't know that. Interesting. It's not letting me just quick at the import. Oh,
so so if you go back and look at the actual error.
Yeah.
Hover. Or even if you did that, or if you hover. So it's not a missing import. It is that you're missing the parameters that are supposed to be passed to that component.
Right, because I'm not calling deal equals, right?
Well, just because you're not passing the property that it requires.
Right.
So it requires a deal property, and now we have to add it. Ahmed said, are we using Prettier ESLint? We recommend the Tailwind CSS plugin. So we are using the Tailwind CSS plugin. So it'll automatically format
It's so
those
good.
classes.
They did just put out an update that will clear any white space in your classes, which is something that they didn't have previously.
Or like unnecessary white space.
Yeah, so let's say you delete a style and you just, don't delete the extra space. Now
Yeah.
the upgraded version will.
Okay.
Small, but something that
Yep.
I find myself doing enough.
Yep.
Execute prop. So it's expecting deal. Oh no, it's expecting I searched. Duh.
Well, so I think you had it right. I'm actually not sure. It may be the key. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in React, we need to have a unique key for each one. So on the search deal component, you can pass a key property and set that to the ID of the deal.
So on the search deal, I can make a unique key and set it equal to deal.
So go ahead and type key, which is the name of the property that you're passing, and then equals. And then you want to set that key to the ID of the deal. So you can do deal.id.
Interesting. Okay. But that's because we have multiple things we're mapping over it, right?
Yeah, anytime you do a map inside of React, I don't actually like, most of the time this just works and it's not really a problem, but there's potential performance implications that I don't know super well. It probably doesn't matter until you have a lot of data, that you want to have a unique ID for each item that doesn't change so that it fully understands when things change. I guess it's somebody I'm sure has a better answer of why that is required in React.
Let's see. And in here, div. So we have our image. That's good. The deal.name is not showing up.
Nikki T said if you don't use the keys, it can re-render unnecessarily.
Oh, well, that's definitely a good performance thing to have then.
Yeah, I have to know. When you start to delete from the list, you'll see issues without the key. Know what items in the map will need to re-render. And I think that does cause issues. Like especially if you use just the index of the item in the array, then it's confusing, because if it's at index 4 and then you delete something at the beginning, now that thing is at index 3. But that thing may not really need to re-render because that was already there. I think
that checks out. Okay, that makes sense.
Not that.
I wonder if I need a containing div around the entire link, since it's just a link.
Have y'all seen this? It's a ginger lime mule seltzer from Polar.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Like a Moscow mule seltzer, basically.
Sign me up for that. I love Moscow mules.
What's he doing?
James, looking at this code, do you have any idea why my text isn't showing up?
There's no problems in the other place?
There wasn't. Let's double check.
Sorry, I mean in the search results where you reference the search deal component, so we fixed all those errors.
Yeah, there's correct. There are no errors in search results.
Okay. So yeah, go back to search deal.
So it's showing the image, which is great. And I have that in one div. Actually, I'm curious.
And we're not seeing the name either, right?
Correct.
And what is... Scroll up just a couple lines. So we have the flex for the link.
I just threw that on there to see if it would affect it. I'll even remove that for now.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so we'll
I'll
want to
scroll
come
back up
back
for
to
you.
that. Link, and then we have a div for the image. Scroll down, then we have another. What, you hit your head? That wasn't my fault. Going to mute the stream while on stand up. Nice, JB. Can you do an inspect on it and just see if the elements are there somewhere? Is there anything below that?
Mm-hmm. There is. It's like behind the image.
Okay, I think it's probably because it's all in a link tag.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Add a class of flex to the actual link.
Okay. So I did that before instead of block.
There's also sometimes, because this is in a pop-up,
Mm-hmm.
I feel well, I feel like it doesn't necessarily refresh the CSS every time. So I've had occasionally where I have to kind of redo that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And if we go back to the code, the div, what? There's a separate div for the image, and then that closes, right?
Yep, that div closes right here.
Yep.
And then this div closes right there. And then it's all inside the same link tag.
I'm actually not sure.
Actually, let's see.
That's just in case, means it might not be a problem in 90% of cases, but the day it does, good luck finding the bug if it wasn't required.
I don't know what that was referring to.
I don't know what that was referring to either. Nikki T, add some garbage text besides the description to see if that renders. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, if you just manually type in some stuff. Yeah.
Nope. And here, I'll zoom in here so people can actually see.
Yeah, that's very tiny, Ryan.
Yeah, well, I made it mobile, so, you know.
I wonder,
Just
is
'cause
the
that's what we're
image
working
covering it? The image isn't on a different...
Well, it has it there, right? Like if you went back to the inspect element, it actually showed those elements, but they were right, like
technically
behind the
beneath
image.
It's
yeah.
behind. Oh.
But I don't know why, if the link is flex, it should put the image div side by side with the text div.
Yeah, the text is there. So the link is relative. Flex pointer around. Shadow transition. Nothing here should be affecting.
What did you just do to get that to show up?
I just changed the opacity of the image so we can confirm
okay.
that it's actually, we can see it.
Okay, there you go.
Why? But this is using
Source
flex.
deal round LG object. Remove object cover just for the sake of it. Just real quick. Just remove it
From the image.
Oh, from the image. Thank you. Yeah.
And then since you did a custom CSS, you have to refresh to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And the
No,
browser.
it changed.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to see it without that custom CSS.
Yeah, remove the opacity too.
Oh, you have the image. Sorry. I thought that was...
Oh, no, you're fine.
Still covers it.
Jamie, Mita. Well, you don't need headphones. You have nothing to listen to. Here, take this. Want this?
Is it the position relative on just the image, on the link, which is the parent container for all this? Because technically links are inline.
So
and everything else in here.
The relative is in there because I believe the percentage coupon that goes on the image is absolute.
Yes, correct.
You have a relative on the parent. Don't you need an absolute on the child? Wait, do we have We're not actually. You can actually get rid of relative because we're not doing anything with the coupon code on.
No, it's in the. Whoa.
It's in the.
Let me check the design.
¿Qué
It is in the
pasa?
design.
Yeah, it's right there.
¿Qué es esto?
It's very tiny, Ryan.
Oh.
Ryan.
This
James.
even?
No, James. Like the percentage code. It's
Oh.
very tiny in there.
Yeah.
It's like a little tiny dot.
Mark is asking if you can have multiple elements inside the link.
You can.
I'm almost
Yeah.
positive we have.
I've done it before, yeah.
Yeah, you can have lots of elements in a link. That's a good question, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty confused.
Yeah,
Where
let's
is
check the
it?
container that this is in.
Hmm?
Check in the container that this is in.
Flex grow, that's fine.
Searched. Okay, so we have,
Oh,
okay. Item stretch gap.
Grow. Huh.
Oh, that's already got flex call on it. My bad. Well, max height 100% isn't typically a good thing to have on there because it does mess with things. Not necessarily this problem, but I'll keep it in there for now since it's not affecting it.
DL key, deal ID, and deal.
I was on mute.
Deal.
Stoney, I apparently I've been ignoring you. Sorry, I've just not been reading every message. And then Stoney sent me a message and was like, "Are my messages not coming through?" Yeah, they are. Sorry, I just conveniently somehow like didn't respond to the individual ones that you sent for whatever reason. What? Kitty Smiles? No.
Let's see what this is.
There shouldn't be any Z indexes. None of this stuff is. None of this stuff right here is absolute.
Right.
Wait a minute.
No.
The modal component.
Yeah.
What is that modal component? Where's the wrapper for that?
It's literally this div here that I'm on. Oh, you know what? This is probably what's so small is the div tools. So nobody can read that.
That's okay, but go into the code to the modal component because usually modals do have a Z index.
I don't think we have a modal component for this. Search deal is inside this.
No, the actual search component.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's inside of pop-up or modal or something.
I
Search
believe.
results. Oh, nope.
Yep.
This is search results, and then search results are inside what?
Go back to the layout. I think it's in the layout. Global search. Is that it?
Josh was saying your text is after the image in HTML. You may want to swap that.
Yeah.
But
No, but that still shouldn't have. Like
when
the layout that we're looking to achieve needs that.
When we use Flexbox, those you should be able to run an image in line with text.
Okay, so here we've got the overlay. It's just odd that it's creating like a new stacking flow, or like it's just not what we're expecting.
Josh, no, the image shouldn't be on top. It should just be image either above the text or side by side with the text.
Sidebar overflow.
I don't know what you want. ¿Estás cansada?
This just has display block. It's got Z50, but that's just to make sure it's on top. This is the overlay.
Yeah, that should just put everything that's in it on top.
Exactly. Any children, which are defined here.
Also, Mark, I don't know if you're kidding about wanting the text under. Well, I don't know if you meant under Z index wise or if you meant below. I don't know, but yeah, you don't want it Z index wise under.
I think Jamie's feeling what Ryan's feeling right now.
I should have changed. I shouldn't change it from Ryan's misery.
Later,
The
Nick.
image has, yeah,
See you, Nick.
the image has some invalid class. Let's go. Let's remove the image
Sure.
thing completely and just put another piece of what? Well, I don't know what I've done wrong.
She's very unhappy. Okay, so now this is working as expected. It's just not like in the image. And here, just so everyone could see.
Go back, or do the image now. Sorry. Do the image now, but give it a width.
That was my thought too, yeah. And there's no height. Let's just call it.
Oh, and actually, we don't want image or width. Well, no, it depends on what we're doing.
Yeah, well, this can change. Because this is depend on the container, right? So my thought was we have the link component, which is containing it all. Inside the, and actually I'll show the design real quick. We have the link component. Inside the link are two divs, one for the image, one for the text content. On mobile, it'll take up the full width, but and it'll be one column. On, you know, I guess tablet or larger, it'll be two columns, and the image will be, you know, 20% width or whatever.
Give this
Let's see.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things. Full equals true is something you're not expecting. Full equals true? Where's that? Oh, fill equals true? Oh, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what that means.
In this case, I don't know either. It comes from image components, fill.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Sure.
Might give you an error.
I'm going to give you an error.
Here's why.
So the
Here's
width
why.
is a part of this?
No, it's because you're using height auto width full. So because you don't have a property for width and height, you have to use fill true when you use height auto and width full. If you don't use fill true, then you have to provide a width and height property to the image component. That won't work either. You actually have to
because it's
provide
the actual class.
You have to provide a property. Yep.
So what size? So we this is interesting, and I feel like images are very complicated to work with.
Yep. There you go.
We want to keep everything, I think,
No, that won't work.
at a 16 by 9.
Okay.
So you could do add the aspect ratio.
Yep. Video, right?
Yeah.
And then even though you say width and height 24 here, you can then in the class change it to, if you want to do height 4, width 4, or whatever. Let me see what the size of that is in Figma. Hold on.
Well, let's start with remove H full, W full to start. And I'm wondering if we just, because image stuff is actually very complicated. So we have to tell Next.js this so that it can avoid cumulative layout shift, I think.
Yes. I
And
believe
so let's give this something like 20 divided by 4. 480 for the width and 270 for the height. That should be the ratio of 16 by 9.
Okay. Well, I'm going to remove this just so you could see. That doesn't seem... Is that
I wonder... I think that should be 1080p or 1920, 1080, both divided by 4.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it's a reasonable size to avoid too much pixelation. Yeah, see, Josh, I've never quite understood what are we giving the. We're just telling Next.js how big this image is in general.
Yeah.
We're not getting down to how big we want it to be. So if that's the case, I would do 960 by 540 maybe.
540.
Yeah,
I was gonna say 541.
541. And then you can keep the aspect ratio, aspect video or whatever.
And then if I
And
add
then-
object cover.
Yeah. But I need to do a deep dive into next image and other image things because I feel like this is a mix of like, I feel like we shouldn't be using Tailwind classes on top of what it should be doing for us.
I agree. It's frustrating to work with because I've encountered this myself, and oftentimes, like if I'm working with an SVG, I'll set this to 2, which I know isn't ideal, but it's smaller than what I want, and then I'll use Tailwind or whatever CSS to make it what I actually want, which doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I'm really not exactly sure. So and then somebody had the example of like changing it to flex row on large screens or whatever.
Yep, already done.
Okay, so
if and when I can.
Ooh, that's good to know. So navbar is not responsive.
Well, depends how far you zoom in. This is 500% zooming. This is actual.
Okay.
But I'll zoom back in for the people.
Josh, the Next.js docs are great, and I've read through that one before as well.
Okay, so now
here, I feel like they still have never quite done it for me. Like there's just things that I feel like I'm missing, but
I've always felt the same way too. Hey, y'all, I gotta jump off. I apologize.
Hey,
James.
man.
Yeah,
Thanks for hanging.
I'm probably gonna jump in like 5 minutes anyway. So
yeah. Thanks for letting me hang, and Brian. Dude, you've come a long way since we first started coding.
Yeah, man.
You really
I
have.
hope so.
No,
Thank you.
really.
Thank you.
I think it shows.
This is the stuff I'm good at. You haven't seen me struggle yet.
No,
Too much.
I have. Yeah. You know I have. In your
That's
end-to-end
true.
tests and your unit tests that Sachi made.
That's triggering here.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you later.
All right, man. See ya. Good luck. Cool. So should I then? Let's get rid of this. So I'll just explain what I did real quick so you can see. So right now we have the link component, and we have a just standard flow, medium view width. It's going to flex, so that way we have it side by side. We've got a gap of 4 between the picture and the this column. Then the image container we have at the medium view, which this can all just be adjusted. It's got a width of 20%, so the image is smaller. And then I added width full, so the image takes up the entire size. Because if I omit that, it did before. It was taking up, only the size we specified.
did that change it?
It didn't. I wonder if it's just because I'm zoomed in. I'm just
well, this image. So we're telling. Yeah, sorry about the crying. We're telling Next.js that this image is 960 by 540.
right.
I actually don't know. I would assume it tries to use that size of the image. And so since we say this column is only 1/5 wide, it's just taking up. I think it's inherently going to take up 100% of that.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think 1/5 there is okay.
What is the? I think it's because of the aspect that it's kind of I'll just blow this up real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of padding around. This is me being anal. And then here we have
Lou and Edith, welcome by the way. Josh asked if want him to jump on and work more with Ryan. Y'all are welcome to work more after this. I'm gonna have to go and probably feed her some more in a second. So I'm gonna kill my stream, but if y'all want to work together outside of that, feel free.
I have to go. I've been coding since 9 o'clock, so this is the end of my day. Yeah, I'm out for work today and tomorrow, so I said let me just code all day.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Josh. I'll definitely get to take you. I will DM you though, because I want to learn more.
¿Estás cansada? Oh, pobrecita, qué cansada. Yeah. Gaga. Gaga. Dada. 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 Ooh, microphone. See?
Love that.
Para hablar.
You know what I'm gonna do in my off time as well is I just want to add a bigger. Actually, we need a gap here as well, which isn't gonna work because this is not. There you go. I will add like a real description like you have on the GitHub issue, and just see how it looks with actual content.
Okay.
But for now, at least it is a little responsive.
Yeah, I think that's a great start.
Cool. And can I guess I can't. What did I name these? But that's all right. That works. And then we'll have to add the. Well, I guess after we figure out the percentage off, we'll have to add it too.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I don't know why that's floating off there.
I have a feeling it's probably based on where the absolute.
Yeah, it's whatever
the
the container that has the relative class.
Yeah, so this container is taking up the
doesn't.
full space, but the image is not.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's because the div. It's one column. That's why, or two. Oh,
Can you say so?
Oh, someone's not happy today.
I know. I think she's hungry. I didn't give her enough food. Cool. We'll make a note of that one.
Cool.
And then you can do some of the tweaks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll make it nice and pretty.
And then
I'll finish it up.
If you have questions, let me know, and then we'll do PR and get that merged.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll have it done by tomorrow. I have to finish Gridiron stuff today, and then as soon as I'm off of this, and then tomorrow morning I'll pick this up.
Nice. And if you don't do the percentage coupon cut or percentage off thing, that's okay, because we're gonna have to have a story for that anyway, and we probably want to consolidate that into this new deal image component, which either renders the gradient thing or the actual image and then overlays the coupon code.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So if you don't get to that, that's totally okay. We're gonna have to do some work on that part anyway.
All right, cool. I appreciate it.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna run and feed baby. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone.
Feedback, appreciate it. Ryan, good to hang out with you.
You too, James. It's been a minute.
I'm gonna go take care of crying baby.
Enjoy.
See y'all.
See you, everyone.